Now, Benjamin Netanyahu is currently in the political fight of his life against challenger Benny Gantz. Now, this was decided in the recently held Israeli elections. Now, before this potential upset, former Secretary of State Rex Tillerson came out and said this last week that while serving in President Trump's cabinet, the Israeli government, led by Benjamin Netanyahu, would sometimes share misinformation to persuade Trump on particular issues. Now, this is according to the Harvard Gazette. So now, during a panel with Harvard professors, Tillerson said this, quote, "They did that with the president on a couple of occasions to persuade him that we're the good guys, they're the bad guys." Now, that's important because of the potential foreign policy ramifications that the president would inevitably run into. Now, I'm talking about specifically Iran. So now, Donald Trump, Donald Trump's got some really bad instincts, except when it comes to war. He actually has a really good instinct to stay away from Middle Eastern conflicts. Now, that's good. Now, there's a couple of different reasons, likely because his base hates those wars. That's great, something we agree with. And B, probably because he doesn't care about the people living in those areas. He's content to let them fight amongst themselves. Okay, well, look, I think personally that we should play a role in helping to create peace, not war. Instead, for decades, we've been doing the opposite in order to gain access to resources like oil. So, okay. But anyway, all right. Again, very consequential, though, having these discussions because it involves Iran. So now the Israelis, I think, were probably whispering in Trump's ear saying, hey, Trump, Iran is bad. We got to defend ourselves from their aggression. Saudi Arabia, they're being attacked by Iranian-backed rebels, terror groups. You're helping there. So you got to do something. Remember, we're the good guys, and those Iranians are the bad guys. Okay, well, hey, in reality, look, the right-wing government of Israel, I don't think they're the good guys. I don't agree. Saudi Arabia, also not the good guys. Now, Iran, also not the good guys. There's kind of a pattern here, right? But at least the Iranians were willing to make a deal with President Obama, a deal that was actually pretty good. And it made it so that Iran did not eventually pursue a nuclear weapons program. You know what happened when Trump got in office? He ripped that up. And now, as a result, we almost went to war with Iran. We almost attacked Iran. What do you think is going to happen if you attack Iran? You're going to get into a war. And now, at the end of the day, I guess, thankfully, Trump backtracked a little bit and said, okay, we're not going to go to war. We're not going to order a strike, but we are going to put even more devastating sanctions on Iran. Okay, well, again, at least it's not war, right? So now Tillerson, he said this, quote, "We later exposed it to the president, so we understood you've been played. It bothers me that an ally that's as close and important to us would do that to us." Really? Is it all that shocking, though? Again, yes, our allies spy on us, we spy on our allies. Remember, we got caught spying on the Germans. And that wasn't too long ago. I think that was during the Obama administration. And then the Israelis just got caught spying on President Trump. So it's not like we're an angelic presence that does nothing wrong in America, or that any other country is perfect and doesn't do anything wrong. No, we all spy on each other. Unfortunately, that's what we do. So now the real problem here is that Trump's stupid, which is unfortunately what a lot of these stories boil down to. Trump is not a smart person, not very smart, very like breathtakingly stupid. Okay, but more importantly, easily influenced. All you have to do is be the last person in the room to say something, then he'll likely believe it or at least look into it. And so the Israelis, I think, use this to their advantage. Now, under Trump, the U.S. has recognized both Jerusalem as Israel's capital and Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. In return, Netanyahu has named the Golan settlement Trump Heights. So there's that. Not only that, but the administration continues to refuse to acknowledge the humanitarian crisis in the Palestinian territories. Not to mention the massive human rights abuses in those areas as well. Only focusing on the Palestinian aggression from ridiculous groups like Hamas, which do stupid rocket attacks, and I don't understand why. But anyway, not a lot of good guys here, right? So now the good news here is Trump is starting to distance himself from Netanyahu. Now, why is that? It's because Netanyahu might soon be a loser. Trump appeared to distance himself, according to reporters, from Netanyahu on Wednesday after the prime minister failed to earn a parliamentary majority in the latest election. This is the second such election. Okay. Trump told reporters in California that he hasn't spoken yet to Netanyahu about the election results and stressed that his administration's relations are, quote, with Israel. Those cool remarks are a blow to Netanyahu, who is fighting for his political survival. This is after, by the way, Netanyahu ran billboard ads for his re-election campaign. Now, among all the fear-mongering about the Arabs coming to the polls and all that stuff, which, by the way, they did, and they supported his opposition, Benny Gantz, and likely pushed him over the top. But back to Netanyahu, he literally ran ads with him and Trump shaking hands. Oops. Yikes. And now Trump's like, no, I haven't called him. Benjamin who? What? No, I don't know that guy. He was a coffee boy. That's cold, man. Cold. Now, adding to his troubles, by the way, Netanyahu's, if he's ousted, he could face a possible indictment for fraud and bribery. You know why? Because he's also a criminal, just like Donald Trump. Look, I suppose playing Trump at this point is not possible because Trump in the end might have actually played him. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.